Hey guys, did you ever play Shadow of Colossus? I didn't, but the idea of that game was always super cool to me because I love giants that I can interact with or that can like charge at me. That was always like really interesting idea and super cool to me. Why am I mentioning that game? Well, because next big arc that is expected to drop at some point in the 2026 is the Emperor. A lot of people are expecting the King to drop before Emperor, but I don't think so, and there is separate reasons for that I won't get into today. However, Emperor is basically the first ever arc that is in theory gonna drop that will not be able to be taken down by a solo player. Also, did you guys know that when I say subscribe, the button actually lights up? Let me know if it worked this time. When I mentioned at the start of the video Shadow of Colossus, in that game, when you have these giants roaming around the map, you basically have to get on top of them and then, do something on their bodies in order to take them down. It's similar to the Horizon games actually. This theory was prompted by a picture that I'm not sure I can find for the video, but if I will find it, I will show it to you right now. And in this screenshot or picture, whatever artwork you wanna call it, there is a pictured raider actually riding on top of one of the legs of this creature, and it's assumed that the same way you interact with the map normally, you press E on something like a door, the door opens. Some similar function will be happening to one of the legs, where you have to actually climb on top of this thing and disable the leg from moving, maybe, or something similar to that. Basically, in order for you to be able to incapacitate this creature and then take it down eventually, you will actually have to get on top of this thing multiple times and disable multiple parts of it. And obviously, while also dodging attacks from every other arc on the map. There is two really solid theories, and one of them is likely true because it was not denied by the devs. The way devs leak anything for this game apparently is that if it's wrong, they will deny it and say it's a cool idea, but that's not what we are planning. And if we get really close to something, they just ignore it. It's been like a really good track record so far, and one of the theories that I had for Emperor from the start was that you will be only able to fight this creature on a very one specific map, and it will always be there. Like, it will not be like in the waves, like sometimes on some map there is Harvester and the Queen, sometimes Matriarch on this map. This will not be the case. There will be one map very specifically designed just for the Emperor. The Emperor is not gonna move away from this location, and there will be a night cycle just like any other map has that will not have the Emperor on it. You will always be able to join this map. You will have to get on the day cycle map, and the Emperor will always be there. Also, the map will not have your standard 30-minute runtime, but it will be about 45 to 50-minute long server. And one final thing that was not denied by Embark was that on this new map that will feature the Emperor, you will have to be actually cooperating with people on multiple levels. It's not just about shooting at the thing, it's not just about disabling the legs or whatever on the body, it's not just about scaling the creature in order to disable it, then shooting weak spots, the drill, the classic. It's not just about that, but at the same time as you are doing this, somebody else on the map simultaneously will have to be running around the map and the buildings on it and enable something. We don't know what. There is a huge amount of theories about what this really is. My most bizarre theory that I don't really think is true, but it will be really cool if it was true, was that you have to enable something that is in outer space, some kind of satellite that is orbiting Earth for some reason. And this satellite, when activated from this spawn specific map, will be able to temporarily target the Emperor and shoot a huge ass laser in it. Maybe like in the Hidden Bunker event. And after activating all the parts of the map, which requires obviously a huge amount of cooperation from not just a squad of 3 people, this will be like the entire server cooperating or it doesn't work type of a thing. That's why the server will be like an hour-long server. And once everything's over, the laser should be the final blow to the Emperor. After that laser hits, the Emperor should be dead no matter what. The problem is you need to get the Emperor to a very specific location on the map. That's why you are climbing on top of him and shutting down its legs, because you need to time when Emperor is standing over a certain spot. You need to time when you're disabling the legs, and when he's stuck in the position, then you activate the laser. The laser hits, Emperor is dead. That's kind of the theory craft around this event. This whole theory, this whole idea, this whole thing was presented to Embark, and it was like 4 days ago, I think. And you should have seen like what we saw, because we like were spitballing ideas about it just for fun, and there's like 4 different moderators just like overlooking it, right, like being on the server. They didn't say anything for like 4 hours or 3 hours that we were texting about it in the chat. And after I can't drop names actually, but somebody dropped a theory about the laser, about how maybe Emperor will be too big to hit with any other ordinary gun, so we will need a laser for it, and specific timing. And after that dropped in the chat, like 3 of the 4 moderators started typing and then stopped typing. And we were all like going insane, like holy fuck, we might have just like accidentally actually gotten it right. And I do think we did, because this, like, be honest, that sounds cool as all hell if that was true. So I really am hoping that we got at least partially this correctly. I really do believe that we did. And so Emperor is not dropping sooner than 2026. That's obvious. I think the focus this month at least will be on getting Expedition out, and maybe there might be something about Expedition that will actually tie into the release of Emperor, to be honest, because one of the things that Embark doesn't say at all is that outside of the bonuses and the benefits of Expedition, there is also the factor that you actually will have to eventually evipe. You will eventually have to do Expedition, because it unlocks something in the game, like the same way you sometimes unlock a map, right? That's gonna be very similar process. Basically, if you are a player that didn't do at least one Expedition in their entire gameplay cycle, you will not be allowed on a map. And we think that maybe this is the map where if you didn't do Expedition yet, you will not be able to go to kill the Emperor. That is a theory that like nobody presented. That's my personal theory right now. Maybe it's bullshit, I'm not sure. The vibes are not like enforced in any kind of way. I think it's just like if you miss a window for Expedition, you will regret it. That's why I think everybody will be doing it. But I'm not sure if they will go as far as like to, restrict a big part of content in the game behind a specific window. Like that seems kind of harsh, so I don't really think so, but it's possible, so like that's everything I got. Most of these things are, like I said, just like fan theory, because it's been like a month since the game was out, right? And we are already starving for something, so people are coming up with things. But like I said, the one thing to keep in mind is that like this one specific thing we came up with randomly just because it sounded cool. I think the devs actually either they panicked and wanted to say something, or maybe they were like gonna type like, oh, that sounds cool, and then they stopped themselves or something. Either way, I think we got really close to this just by saying that. So I do think that it's possible we are gonna get a huge map with big runtime that will require everybody on the server, or on in the raid at least, to activate something big and take down Emperor. I do think that it's very good chance there is gonna be that happening. So super excited about that. And yeah, if there is any solid proof, right, or any like actual news from Embark themselves, I will make sure to let you know. See you later.